So hello and welcome to my fandom vlog. Today I have Emma with me who's going to talk about a lot of fandoms that have been long lasting and then a couple of fandoms that she's also involved in as well. So let's do this. Okay.
Good stuff. Well, I'd be part of, if we consider them fandoms, I am a lover of Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, a variety of gaming fandoms as well, I suppose, Elder Scrolls series, Final Fantasy series. And then you've got like the more modern day fandoms, I suppose. I'm not a brony, I'm not one of those. Sci-fi, that was like the boom of the sci-fi era. I mean, you had the sci-fi novels, they got Isaac Asimov and all that, you know, around that time, and you got Doctor Who, which incidentally premiered the day that John F. Kennedy died. It's because of the sci-fi element and the fact that it was futuristic. It was like something aspiring to like the future, and you're always looking towards the future regardless. For me personally, I think it's got a lot to do with the context that like the universe is set in, the lore of the realm, and if it's got an interesting lore, it's bound to continue in people's minds at least as well, even if the show is on hiatus. They're just cool, man.
That's fair, yes.
A lot of shows copped a lot of slack in their early days. I mean, Star Trek, the original series, was utter shit. You know, it's only lasted, what, one season. You got like a small group of cult followers that inspired the next season. So I guess popularity can kind of stem from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, once something is on a t-shirt, I think it's pretty set. Star Wars, I was a fan of Star Wars first because I was a poor child. Not really, but I only had 2 videotapes and they were Star Wars Episode 4 and Episode 6. Star Wars started at a young age for me, and I think that's actually a real good time that you need to watch Star Wars because you don't psychoanalyze the movie techniques. And Star Trek came probably when I was about my mid-teens. I don't know where it stemmed from. My mum was a Trekker.
Oh really?
Yeah, she was.
And she just hid it from you the whole time.
Literally, it was probably the furthest thing from my mum, you watched Star Trek, the original series. And I'm like, I started off not with the original series, but I started with the Next Generation, and I really liked it. So I just like, oh well, I've heard something about Star Trek, I want to get into it. I'll start with the Next Generation and then go from there. And I really liked it, so it spurred off with me as a good point. And then of course, like in 2009? No, later, the new Star Trek movie came out, and so that sparked another interest in Star Trek in a whole. Doctor Who was probably around the same time. I mean, I admittedly, I got on the bandwagon a bit late. Like my earliest memory of Doctor Who was probably I would be about like 10, and I just remember an old rerun on like Channel 7 or something, and it'd be like, so I had no idea what was going on. There's an alien on the spaceship. I vaguely remember this. And like, okay, there's an alien on the spaceship. It may be dead or alive, we don't know. Open a cupboard and the alien is just something covered in alfoil. But then I don't know how I got back onto, I guess friends at school were mentioning that the new Who had come out, and they're like talking about all these episodes. So I did then. So the Tenet is Tenet for life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess it started with Star Wars. So I went from the VHS tapes to the box set, and from there I just kept watching him over and over and over again. I got the video games. It probably started there, and then, you know, if you found a t-shirt, you're like, oh. My true appreciation of something is when I buy the box set, even though I can watch it online. That's a true sign of a fan right there. Doctor Who started once again watching stuff online. Never bought a series, a box set of Doctor Who. I guess from there I saw the Symphonic Spectacular at the Opera House. Where they did all the music, so I started crying. Vale Decem. It's my horrible Latin attempt of Farewell 10. Bought t-shirts, I got TARDIS USB things, TARDIS posters, desktops. I got a bumper sticker saying my other car is dimensionally transcendent. I like it mainly because it was practical. Some of the stuff, like I needed a USB thing. Might as well spend the extra bucks, get a Doctor Who one or something. I was more obsessed before. As with everything, time fades the wounds of enthusiasm, and so I would play Tekken 2 and all the love of the fighting games, and I would get into it. I'd be like 6 years old, I'm gonna die! Wow. You have quite a few long-lasting series. So you got your Final Fantasy series that kind of came out, God, was it late 80s or early 90s? I can't ever remember. I never played them because I was not yet out of the womb. They have good characters, interesting. It's an interesting world, once again. The world, it's a world in context that interests you. I personally am a great fan of the Elder Scrolls series, which, you know, culminated, what was it, 2012 with Elder Scrolls Skyrim that came out.
Yep.
So everyone's always like, oh, Skyrim! And it's like, oh yeah, that was Oblivion before that, and Morrowind before that, and we can keep going before. And then, you know, once again, I wasn't born, or was born, but, you know, last time. I dressed up, okay. For Comic Con this year, I dressed up as Geralt of Rivia. He's from the Witcher game series. And I suppose you could call it fan. Yeah, I enjoyed the series so much, and I really loved the characters. Once again, the interesting context and lore, that I wanted to dress up as Geralt of Rivia because he's fucking badass. Yeah. You find a lot of people who do cosplay are from games. Yeah. Gaming fandoms are an incredibly big thing on the internet, especially. Yeah. They may be like less known in I guess pop culture.
Okay, so thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.